Thank you, Jessica. Okay, we are ready when you are, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I have 9 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the committee of criminal justice and county affairs. First up, we have the agenda. Is there any addition to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll do a call to the public. Waiting, I see there's nobody in the audience.
There is no one at this time, Mr. Chairman.
They call in now?
Yep, they can, they would do it through the Zoom. I think Jessica's checking to see if she can hear us on YouTube. That's what she's doing, but there is no one out there at this time, Mr. Chairman. Out of practice, but on time.
That's 9 o'clock, yeah. I got 9 exactly. Yeah, 9:01 now.
See how efficient you guys are?
Yeah. Wow. We're being recorded. We have to do that. Okay, one last pause. There's still nobody there. Okay, we'll move on. Okay, first up, we have review and assess the semi-annual 2% application from the Humane Animal Treatment Society app and requesting $2,754 for the shelter dog kennel beds.
Yeah, so we did invite HATS to join us today. Unfortunately, they weren't able to speak to their application. They're under our umbrella for approval for their 2% applications. And usually I don't think they have come to the committees to speak to their application, but I felt like they could speak to it better than I could. But as it turns out, I'm going to speak to it anyway today. What their application is for are called Corunda beds, and these would be for the canines in the facility. They're made from materials that allow a dog to sleep comfortably off of the ground. It keeps them dry and clean. And apparently they use these in the kennels at the shelter on the concrete floors to provide more comfort for the animals. And of course, one of the benefits of this, not just the comfort of the animals, but happy, healthy, adoptable dogs get adopted out sooner, of course. And being ready for adoption is probably the number one thing that helps them at the shelter find those forever homes. So happy, healthy dogs that are adopted into the community obviously stay shorter periods of time at the shelter too. And so they keep our expenses down. But the request is for $2,754, and that would cover a one-time purchase of 34 new Corunda beds that would replace the existing ones at the shelter. And she does say that if there are any that still have life in them existing, that they'll reuse those and put them in the rotation basically, but this would be for new ones. I can try to entertain questions if you I can try to answer. I'll entertain questions, but I don't know if I can answer them.
Straightforward as
It
far
is.
as beds. Got to look up what a Corunda bed looks like.
I should have Googled it, shouldn't I?
I know what's
Yes.
up in the Huskies, they use it for sled dogs, yeah. They basically have a barrel on a thing and they put straw in it. It seemed like those dogs would get cold, but they don't. So they're built for that kind of weather, but yes, get the dogs up, keep them dry.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
raising cats, it's always a big deal.
Mhm.
For them, that's what
The
they're
bedding.
looking at, so.
Yep.
All right, entertain a motion to move it forward to. Regular session meeting. I will support that.
Okay.
Is there any more? It's been moved and supported. See, it's been filed since we've done this.
You're doing
We're
great.
Stumbling around. Been moving supported that we move this forward to the work session. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed forward. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. That has passed. We'll move it forward to the work session. Okay, next up, review and assess the summary applications from the Isabella County Sheriff's Office requesting $87,311 for the police K-9 unit. And I do believe we have the sheriff with us.
We do. Hard to miss.
Morning. So, we've always talked about a K-9 unit for the sheriff's office. They're an extremely handy tool for multiple reasons, but the uptick cost of it's pretty expensive. I actually had some conversation with the tribal law enforcement agency, and the tribe had expressed interest in maybe sponsoring another dog. That's kind of where that came from. The ongoing cost is pretty minimal, but the upstart is the $87,000. So, that dog would be a K-9 for track. We do a lot of, suspect tracks. We also do elderly and lost people tracks and endangered people. So that's a huge bonus for us to have that available for us. It also will be a narcotics dog, which is, certainly an issue in our communities. And we can use it for sweeps in the jail. We've had a couple of incidents of late of some smuggling of narcotics into the jail. So there's lots of benefits for the sheriff's office to have a K-9 of its own. They would train with the tribal and state dog that's already exists in the county, and if we could get one, that would be fantastic.
Now, I know those dogs are specialized. Can they dual train between
You can't-
narcotics and
Yeah, you
tracking?
can't do a narcotics dog and an explosive dog, but you can do a narcotics dog and a track and protect dog. Like, so, if the deputy was in trouble, it's got a remote, pops the door, dog comes to his aid right there. Or if it's a high risk, we send the dog into the search warrant type situation where it's a high risk. So we couldn't do a K-9 that's a bomb and a drug dog. Kind of got to separate those two out. That answer your question?
Yeah, you did. Do you have a question?
Oh, do you already have an individual that would be?
No, we would post it
Hire
and,
out, post
post it and do interviews and stuff like that. I know we've had some people interested over the years. One advantage to us here too is, we recently lost a patrol car from an accident, and the insurance company paid out, so we're down a car. So that would get us a car back in the fleet and add to us. So that would be a good thing as well. So, and we, there's always a conversation about there's some case law and stuff out there as far as, paying the cannon handler additional funds, to have a dog. And there's also ways to shorten shifts to offset that cost. And we reached out to MRMA and talked to our risk management folks, and they've kind of given us some directions on that. So I think, that cost is extremely minimal. Dog care and vet care is pretty much it moving forward. So
That person would have to be 24 hours, would he? Or how
not
would that
necessarily,
work?
they still get their vacations and stuff, but they do get on call. I mean, if something happens, they'll get called in. The nice thing about, I think that's part of the way the tribe has expressed some interest in this is between their dogs and the state dog and our dog, the more we have, the more opportunity that somebody's on duty. So we're not pulling somebody in on their day off or, middle of their sleep cycle, creating overtime and stuff like that. So the more dogs we have, and we utilize the K-9 dogs from the tribe and the state all the time, and vice versa. We would certainly share our resources back to them. So,
And then, what I'd really love to see is the feeder bowl.
yeah.
What does this feeder bowl do?
So it actually meters the food. So these dogs
Okay.
are not like your, a lot of people take care of their pet better than their own kids sometimes, but it's metered food. It takes care of the proper amount of food the dog's supposed to get and that kind of stuff. So there's a high level of care. I mean, these dogs
Right.
aren't really dogs. These are another deputy we're hiring.
Right,
basically.
right.
So, yeah.
Is this something that's like in the vehicle? So, because I assume that they're in the vehicle for a long period of time.
The feeder bowls and stuff are what's in their kennel cage that the deputy would have at their residence, right there. They have water and some food sometimes when they give them, on shift or whatever, but that's the way the dog's just not sitting there eating. Like I can tell you my my dog and cats have a free flowing amount of food and it tells as they drag their belly across we can't have that. So it helps just meter and take care of the dog. So.
Thanks for entertaining that.
You're welcome.
I still want to see a picture of that one.
Yeah, I was surprised it wasn't as expensive as I thought it was gonna be, but
Well, everything's computerized now, so you probably can adjust.
you can. That's exactly what it
hours?
is. It's got a little
Yeah.
monitor on how much food the dog meters it out and stuff like that, but I think it was under $100 for the whole. So.
Yeah,
They have automatic feeding stations for cows and you let them, they would live in there, but it cuts them off and actually gotta go in there and chase them out because even though they're not getting anything, they're just waiting for the next one.
But we hope the tribe's still interested in this project and like I said, we've talked about it over the years and just the upstart is the crushing cost and this would be a great way to create another asset to our community. So.
Okay, I'm all done with questions.
all right. I'll make the motion, move to bring forward the 2% application for the police canine unit to the regular or work session of the Board of Commissioners next Tuesday.
Okay, I will support that. It's been moved and supported that we move the 2% application from the county sheriff's office to the work session. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion has passed and we will move that forward to the work session. Okay. Next up, we have review and assess the semi-annual 2% application from the Isabella County 911 Central Dispatch and Emergency Management requesting $10,117.50 for remote communications for emergency management. And we have Director Griffith with us.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Mr. Frost. So this request is basically, if you know what a Pelican case or a storm case is, but it's the equivalent of a briefcase this big, about that high, hard plastic, ruggedized. And what it has in it is a modem that will provide Wi-Fi and internet in the field. Okay, we did a Homeland Security exercise. We actually did it inside the airport hangar where it was all metal, very little signal. We were able to put this box next to the hangar and beam the Wi-Fi connectivity back into the hangar so we can operate remotely, pull up necessary servers and software packages that we use to develop and respond to an emergency. So this is for 2 of them. They can be placed in sync next to each other at 2 different locations, the command post and the field site. They have 110, 12 volt power and a battery pack. So you have multiple options on how this can be fueled, fire truck generators or a long lasting battery pack as this comes forward. And this came as an identifiable need from our communications exercise of, at this time, we don't really have any vehicles that will provide any type of internet out in the county that are mobile. But we do have a need in different scenes where we could actually take this and put this with law enforcement, put this with fire, put it with EMS, use it for our Homeland Security exercises to provide communication in the field remotely if something's down like that. So for 2 cases, they have a ongoing cost of about $30 a month each as you connect up with a cell phone thing, depending upon contractors and stuff. There's some deals for public safety. And I put this as a medium priority in my rankings of the 2 projects. So that's what that one's about. Have any questions?
Of course. Will that work like out and you get out to Coldwater Township and out someplace where they can't even get cell service? Is that?
I will say yes with an asterisk. We'll go out there and try. You give me an address, I'll tell you if it'll work before we get it. But yes.
Okay, that's
We've
what
been- We've been
curious.
testing different devices and through the evolution of the police car computers and stuff, we've always, when they come out with the latest, greatest, and they want us to try it, we map it. Some of it helps, some of it doesn't. I've noticed that my Verizon signal's gone down on the west side of the county. And I know we have a brand new 5G tower out there with another AT&T provider, and it wasn't doing it as fast as we had hoped it was going to do it. So I know they're changing over and making networks faster and stuff, but this does have a better antenna to try and pull the signal in, and then it would put it out to us locally. So.
Yeah, I know they have trouble out there even doing the elections because of the.
Right, and again, that might actually be something, depending upon the security levels that need it, we could go test for that too. So 100%. So
So, sorry.
Oh, what?
What's the advantage of this over, say, I assume like for police, their computer systems in their cars, so it's cellular.
Yeah, their computer system on their car has a cellular modem that's connected directly to it. Okay, so that's there. This would actually, if we threw this in the car and plugged it in a cigarette lighter, would project a beam outside of their car. That when they're standing at their trunks, they're pulling up laptops to look at stuff for command purposes. They're jumping onto other websites to pull up pictures of bad guys, run them through Lean, or get on the weather service map to see stuff. That's what this provides. Where the cop car one right now provides just to that particular device or localized. These can be left, and we don't have to tie up a cop car either. That's enough, or any vehicle. So
What other type of, say, information devices do the other emergency services have, like fire
Oh.
or?
they don't have this. They have, two of our full-time fire departments do have some of the modems like the cop cars do to get their computers fired up to have the CAD, the mapping on there. I think most of them, other than that, you're getting into tablets and stuff. I don't know if the sheriff would know of anybody that has it. Nobody has a satellite dish or truck or hookup. We learned out at the Mount Pleasant Airport in the hangar we were in, you're not gonna run it off their little Wi-Fi from their home router that they have type deal, the commercial or non-commercial level cable out there. If we end up with any type of drones or things that work on Wi-Fi, remote back to show pictures and stuff, this would expand that network. So, but I don't think anybody really has this. So again, if a fire chief called for it, we'd run it out to them. And it could provide them internet out in the field as they're doing stuff, looking up chemicals like for a big spill. We've got some, areas that we would definitely want to have a computer up to look up the MSDS sheets and anything that's current on that.
So these will run on battery. There's no other independent input. How
Yeah.
long?
It's supposed to be 40 hours. I heard.
40 hours.
So
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
test that too.
You can, plug it into the cigarette outlet.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
110.
Yep.
It might be
Absolutely.
in a spot where there's nothing out there. So.
Correct. And literally, when we tested this scenario where we had 20 people, like you have here with the Zoom and stuff, inside of a metal building that had no internet access, I mean, we had to have these and aim special antennas at the towers to pull the signal in. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's what these things have been trying to combat for
I had
us.
to put extenders different spots in my shop.
Yep.
So I can get internet in my office, which is in the middle of the shop.
Exactly.
It took like about 5 times before I found a spot that we could extend and I could actually work. So I understand
Absolutely.
the difficulties. So
I'll move to bring this 2% application from 911 Central Dispatch for remote communications for emergency management to the Board of Commissioners meeting on Tuesday, work session.
okay, I will support that. It's been moved and supported that we approve the 2% application for 911 Central Dispatch to the work session. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, I'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. The motion has passed and we will move this forward to the work session. Okay, we have one more item and it was with Director Griffiths again. It's review and assess the semi-annual 2% application from the Isabella County 911 Central Dispatch Emergency Management requesting $88,785 for the Panic Button School Safety Project.
So this is a 3-year project that we're proposing for the money. It goes and covers all K through 12 schools physically located in Isabella County boundaries. So we have Chippewa Hill School, we have Polk Hill Schools, we have public schools. So the game plan at that point is the app would be deployed to the administration of each school. They would decide how far it goes down, but they'd be able to put licenses on all the staff if they wanted. And then if the staff have like maybe a response team inside the school for when a student is having an issue, but not necessarily an issue that we need to dial 911, they can use that to alert their local group. They can come together and help with that person's situation. The app also has the ability to indicate if it's a active shooter, active violence incident, EMS incident where they need medical attention or a fire, they push that. It's passed through, comes right to 911. And it also alerts their team that they're having something going on in their building as far as that goes down. It can assist with sending information out. It can assist with stuff that we're doing towards lockdown procedures and stuff for the schools. When it actually arrives at 911, the phone call type stuff will be able to come up with a facility and a map. It'll help us better place on that map of the school grounds where they're at. It's just an enhancement supplement to what we have for our platform that we're warning the public with Rave, which since we are on the YouTube and anybody, I want to put a shameless plug out to the public of smart911.com. Please sign up as all your friends and family. It's free, a free app, and it has the ability to help us help you. So that's where this one pairs into. This is my highest priority. And the sheriff's been on a committee with me, the School Safety Alliance, that we have where people have talked about it. And the people who are on the committee, the public schools stuff, law enforcement, fire representatives, they said, let's get together and put in a 2% request. So that's what this is coming from. So
I see the tribe previously funded. Is that with the radio? Is that still
Yes.
going on or is
Yes.
that not going on?
nope,
or
that's
how's
still
that
still to
work?
date. I can't remember the exact date. I was trying to. I got to guess it's at least 10. No, it's got to be at least 15 more years old. But it's a school emergency radio system that the sheriff helps coordinate the testing with the Shepherd Bus Garage that helps us out. And they check in with all the schools, make sure they have two-way communications. 911 checks in with them to kick it off. It can be used in an emergency, both where the school can contact us and both where we can contact the school. So
So
it's a
this-
great project that Tribe funded initially. I think it was like around $186,000. It was a 10-year project. And at the end of that 10-year project, the schools have decided to keep stuff going. 911 is still providing the radio service outbound. The schools are taking care of the equipment on their at the school level of the building side.
So this will replace that or that could keep going?
Now keep going. Those are
Okay.
usually at the front desks where the secretary or the
Okay.
administrative assistants are. And this would just be for all the staff. I mean, this would help all the staff. Yeah, so
And this is the same company that provided 911 safety.
the rate stuff that we have. Yeah, and national.
I didn't realize that was Rave
Yeah.
as well.
Yep.
Forgotten.
This is called Panic Button. At the university level, I believe they have a Guardian product and that does more towards university students and stuff. So it's a good project. It's a 3-year test. And at the end of that, we'll write up a report. We'll talk about it and decide if we want to keep this going or not. So it could be expanded to, quite honestly, any of the local governments too, for their meetings. If they needed something, they could have it right on their phone rather than having to, do contracts for alarm companies and stuff like that. So it doesn't replace 911, but it's an enhancement to the information that will come.
Certainly seems like there's a lockdown. It would be highly useful.
Right.
Ken, do I have anything?
Oh, okay. Well, definitely put you on high priority for this school system they're calling for.
When Director Griffiths brought the Rave product forward, he did bring this product forward with that request in the budget, but there just wasn't room in the budget for this. But so I'm glad to see that you put a 2% in for it.
All right, I'll make the motion, move to bring forward the 2% annual application from Isabella County 911 Central Dispatch for the Panic Button School Safety Project.
I will support that. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote on the motion on the floor. All in favor, signify by aye.
I
Opposed, same. The motion has passed. We will push that forward to the work session. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Seeing that we have no more agenda items, we will ask for a call to the public. Is there anybody on the phone? Since there's nobody on the phone at this point, we will move forward and I will call for an adjournment. We will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks.
See, we didn't forget
Forget what?
Right.
how to do this.